The SmallRig follow focus kit. 2 motors, full power, best budget. Let's do this. Hello everybody and welcome back to my channel. If this is the first time to my channel, please don't forget, like, subscribe, hit the bell. My name is 808 State from the Big Island of Hawaii, and I'm going to be telling you guys a little bit about the dual motor follow focus kit by SmallRig. The reason for a follow focus kit is because you try to eliminate the need of using either the manual part or you using prime lenses, or you want to establish a certain subject shot, switching between subjects, which you can't accomplish really with autofocus unless you have a touch screen and you keep touching the screen back and forth. The follow focus kit can be used to utilize either for zoom, to zoom in and out, or like in this case, if you have prime lenses and you want to keep follow focus. Means that you don't want to spin this on its own. You rather have a motor do it by doing it super smoothly, going back and forth. It is a great setup that clocks in at a little bit below $600, which in my eyes is very, very affordable, and is one of the reasons why I picked it up. This video is not sponsored by SmallRig. I bought this on my own, with my own dime, and I'm going to tell you guys a little bit about it. I did get to use it for quite a while now, and I'm very, very excited about the functions that I've been doing for a single content creator. Now, while this entire kit comes inside this carrying bag right here, it also contains some wires that you can hook up with and follow focus rings that are adjustable. Now, if you already own certain follow focus rings like I do over here on my Sony 200 by 600 millimeters, or like the one that I get on my 70 to 200 millimeters right over here, this kit already does come with a follow focus ring for your given lens. The good part is that this hand wheel does come with its own battery internally integrated, and it can be charged through a USB-C. It has a small OLED display right over here, and on the inside of this part right here, you actually can adjust within the settings a small LED light to the color of your preference that you can skip through it. The entire kit actually does come with everything that you actually need to mount this onto your camera, except for that your camera already needs to have a cage. Most cameras do not have cages, and without a cage on your camera, you won't be able to mount this kit on your stuff, because you need the brace that holds the bar to mount the motors, and that brace needs to be mounted against your cage of your camera. Now, the kit does come with 2 motors, 1 motor for the zoom, 1 motor for the focus, and 1 motor either for the zoom or for the aperture, however your lens is set up. I have this setup right here, which has the 50mm anamorphic lens, and it has the aperture and the focus on there. While other lenses like this setup right here has the focal part or the zoom. So I utilize this for sports videography, and I actually like it better because the old conventional style was the handheld version of it, which in my eyes, sometimes because I have the pad and my hand sits on top of that, just like this, while I'm moving this, sometimes I move the camera or the lens with it at the same time while I'm filming or broadcasting. Now, while I have these motors installed, everything is very, very flawless, and it's very, very smooth. This kit actually allows you to move back and forth in between subjects if you want to create sort of like a focus pull for the audience. I want you to focus on this or on that. It is very, very, very smooth, and actually very quiet too. And the motors are very, very powerful, because when I had it mounted on this 70 to 200 millimeter ring right here, this zoom ring is actually pretty hard to spin on its own. The motor has no problems doing so. Now, both of these motors can either be powered through your installed camera battery, such as the VB99 Pro, as I have it on my rig right here, or you can install a battery plate and install NPF batteries. Now, I have the big 950s right here, but it goes down to like 350s, 550. The only thing that you have to watch out for is that that size battery still supplies at least 6.8 volts power to that motor, or the motor won't work properly and you're gonna have problems moving the rings around. Now, the biggest gripe that I have with this hand module right here is that the battery that belongs inside here is a Canon LP battery, which I do not have because I am a Sony shooter and I solely power my stuff through V-mount batteries or NPF batteries or NPF-Z batteries for Sony. I don't have a Canon, so I'm kind of like what? Why did you supply it with a Canon LP? But I guess it was the best option that they have to fit inside of this handle. But the good part is you can power it through the USB-C, which ultimately is power provided through my V-mount battery, which is in this case the VB99 Pro from SmallRig 2. Now the hand wheel unit over here has its own power, which is super cool, and it's also charged through the USB-C in the bottom over here and usable through such. Everything is pretty much self-explanatory. You have up to 16 channels to cut through to make sure that all the motors are hooked up. At the same time, you can control 2 motors at the same time with the hand wheel and the thumb wheel. SmallRig also provided a mount over here to put onto the hand wheel to mount a screen on the top part, and then once you put the hand wheel together with the hand grip, you have the perfect setup to actually have a monitor capture the screen so you can see what you're putting focus on. Now, one small gripe I have with this setup with 2 motors installed on your camera itself is that when both motors are installed and both motors are powered through USB-C, you need, first of all, a USB-C wire with a 90-degree angle. You can't have the straight version because the motor won't fit next to the other. Besides that, once you put the 90-degree USB-C plug-in into the first motor, you can't reach the button for on, off, or adjustments on the frequency or the motor number because the buttons are blocked by that plug-in, which is a small thing. I can deal with it and I can work around it, but still yet, they should have thought of maybe put the power plug on the top part instead of on the side. Now, as a solo content creator, what I really appreciate the most about this setup is that if I do utilize the hand grip or the hand wheel, there's a record button. So if I have the motor plugged in to my camera, I actually can tell the camera when to start recording and when not. And all of us as solo content creators, we know how fidgety it can be to get up, walk around, turn on the camera, turn it off, come back, review, all that stuff. So while with this system, you're actually going to be able to turn it on and turn it off. The system also provides a lot of mounting options of this type of system, of this follow focus kit onto your camera. But like I said before, you do need either a NATO rail or a cage on your camera already installed in order to utilize the max capability of this kit. Quality wise, this entire kit feels very premium. While motors are made out of metal, the hand wheel is made out of metal, there's an adjustment ring, there's programmable parts and options that you actually can set A and B points manually first prior to doing this stuff, in case if you want to move between subjects and you don't want to overshoot those, you can set those start and end points manually if you wish to do so. Everything is automated, so the motors automatically calibrate themselves, but you also can choose to do it manually if you wish to do so. One of the coolest things on this kit that I really enjoy in comparison to other brands is that once I lose power on any of these motors, let's say I ran out of juice on my battery and I plug in a new battery, it actually memorized the start and end point from the prior installed lens where it's currently at. So if I do run out of juice and I just have to change out the battery, I do not have to recalibrate that motor to that lens as long as the kit is still installed on that very same camera. Now, sound-wise, you're actually capable of hearing the motors only if they go like super fast. If you just keep going regular speed, there's no reason to believe that you will ever hear these motors. You can actually utilize these for either zoom, aperture, focus, or whatever ring that is actually installed onto your camera. And as a dual motor kit, I think this is the best value for the $600 that you can get, best bang for your buck, for a setup that is this pristine in quality. The biggest part that I really enjoy the most is the clamping system that SmallRig invented with these motors. While other brands, on the other hand, the bottom part that mounts to this, after a while, actually starts to kind of wear out and it keeps going like falling. The motor keeps falling downwards on its own, while this is bombing. Like, there's no way in hell you break this unless you really over tighten the system. Besides that, it can be mounted either or. Instead of having the motors mounted next to each other, I can actually mount these 2 motors left and right of this to avoid having the motors back to each other. Because it's an ecosystem, you can actually expand the system as well if you wish to have a secondary handle or another hand wheel or whatever else, because these motors are all programmable to be up to 3 motors that you can actually install onto your rig. But then you would have to have a third wheel or a hand wheel or hand grip, whatever. But you can actually have 2 of these hand grips, one mounted left and right, program them to each of your motors, and you're going to be able to use that without the hand wheel, or have the third motor be ran by somebody. For an example, if you have another person as the focus puller that is actually reviewing it on the screen. So now I hope that I actually was able to get to you what this SmallRig Magic Fish Dual Motor Follow Focus Kit is all about. If you guys enjoyed this episode, please don't forget, like, subscribe, hit the bell. Until then, please be a nice human, make somebody else smile, definitely pay it forward. Love you all. Aloha. This Magic Fish from SmallRig is the dual kit motor stuff. No, dual motor, dual kit. SmallRig dual motor kit, follow focus kit. No, dual motor follow focus kit. Dual motor follow focus kit. That's a tongue breaker. SmallRig Black Magic Fish. Oh my God! You have to say the whole thing. All right. SmallRig Magic Fish Dual Motor Follow Focus Kit is all about. Damn, that's a handful. For this whole time, I was worried about that my lens is gonna fall down. I kept looking. Are there chemicals in here? Am I high? Focus, young Padawan. Even the case still smells new. That's a lot of money just sitting here. I use all this stuff, like literally. It took me 5 years to get there. I even have a Triforge. If you guys don't know what that is, I'll put the link in the description too. It's from Peter Lindgren. He made this. Don't know who's Peter Lindgren? I'll put the link in the description too. He's like the camera god besides Peter McKinnon. I don't have long fingers. I can make this disappear like Peter. Ta-da! Stupid. All right, everybody. Bye.